In almost an instant, a name flashed in Tang Mo's heart. He didn't say the name because he remembered the little girl deliberately removed a part of the mosaic on her face to show contempt. Don't think that all match girls are girls who sell matches. Then laughter was heard behind him. Bai Ruiao touched his chin. Little girl who sells matches, little girl. Wow, Tang, don't you think we've heard this somewhere before? In the Peking University reality instance, Tang Mo and Bai Ruiao had played the game as opponents. The game boss was Mosaic. Bai Ruiao was deliberately pretending not to remember, but he saw Tang Mo hesitating and his eyes narrowed. What is the problem? Fu Wenduo also thought about it. That match of yours. Tang Mo pulled out the big match. The match was thick and was half the height of a person. It already felt out of place in Tang Mo's hands. Imagine how funny it was when a little girl held it. Tang Mo was silent for a moment. It is possible that she is the little girl who sells matches. However, we don't know where she is right now. Then a sharp voice was heard. I know. The group turned to look at the 7 captured dwarves. Every dwarf stretched out his neck and shouted loudly, "Give me the small pumpkin and I will tell you where she is." No, give it to me. I will tell you the gossip about the little match girl and her whole family. I don't just know gossip about her family, I know gossip about Cinderella. Cinderella used to be a good friend of Snow White and often came to see her. We know a lot of her secrets. Give me the small pumpkin and I'll tell you all about it. I'll say it first. The dwarves anxiously twisted their bodies. If they hadn't been bound by the prop, they would have broken the rope and escaped. Tang Mo and Fu Wenduo stared at each other. Fu Wenduo held the small pumpkin and spoke in a calm voice, then, answer the question. Where is the little girl who sells matches? She is on the tallest tower. Guangzhou, Haizhou district. The sun fell to the west and light shone all over the earth. Like a light breaking through the darkness, a magnificent glow was seen. There was a loud band and from the middle section of Guangzhou Tower, a huge and strong figure in pink smashed through 2 glass curtain walls. The glass fell down and collapsed to the ground. Grandmother Wolf slammed to the ground, her feet causing 2 huge pits in the ground. There were several bodies around her as well as some collapsed players who wouldn't move. Other people were still standing on the ground but their situation was bad. Ruan Wangshu's pale face was now as white as a thin piece of paper. He panted and pressed his hands to the ground. He never imagined that a powerful black tower monster could easily jump hundreds of meters, making his ability difficult to function. The situation of Lian Yuzheng, Jack, and Tang Qiao also wasn't very good. They joined hands with senior players in Guangdong and was only able to fight to a tie with Grandmother Wolf. They couldn't beat her at all. Grandmother Wolf had a rough face and burly body but her actions were extremely agile. When Lian Yuzheng and the others weren't paying attention, she would attack a weaker player. This would lead to the deaths of several people and many people would be seriously injured, losing their fighting power. Grandmother Wolf raised her head and grinned in a sinister manner, revealing sharp teeth. Ruan Wangshu gasped, "We have successfully attacked the tower. Why are you still attacking us?" Yes, it was the 7th day of the 7th floor's tower attack game. As early as the morning before, the Tianqian organization and attack organization arrived in Guangzhou and came to Guangzhou Tower. A few days ago, Luo Fengcheng organized the attack members to attack the Black Tower in Shanghai. The Black Tower guarded by the Iron Shoemaker wasn't the real treasure Black Tower. Ruan Wangshu arrived with the clue to the Guangzhou Black Tower and Luo Fengcheng led the core members of attack to Guangzhou to help. By the time they arrived at Guangzhou Tower, the Guangzhou players couldn't support the attacks of Grandmother Wolf anymore. Some players in Guangzhou had successfully cleared the 4th floor and Grandmother Wolf opened the Black Tower game. It was just a pity that no one could pass this game. After Ruan Wangshu's group arrived, he and Luo Fengcheng joined forces to clear the game and successfully attacked the 5th Black Tower. However, after the Black Tower announced globally that all 5 Black Towers had been attacked, the players under Guangzhou Tower had no time to be happy. Grandmother Wolf smiled and spoke in a hoarse voice, "It is all over so, now I can eat you." There was an abnormal change and Grandmother Wolf suddenly launched an attack on the players. The battle had lasted for 1 day and 1 night. Grandmother Wolf suffered many injuries but the players were even more devastated. Luo Fengcheng's combat power was weak and he was protected by the members of attack. He uttered a question for all the players, "Why?" Grandmother Wolf seemed tired and she was taking a rest. She raised her sharp wolf's claws to her ears and lazily dug out her earwax. Her other hand wiped the blood on her thigh. It was a knife that cut her and it was her most serious injury, almost cutting off her leg. "Why?" There was a low laugh. "Hee, you have to look at the owner when hitting the dog. Don't you humans know this?" On Guangzhou player roared, "Isn't it enough now? We didn't do anything to your daughter and granddaughter. They wanted to attack us and we fought back." The green eyes suddenly looked at the player. The player was so pale and couldn't say a word. Grandmother Wolf opened a huge wolf's mouth. "Oh, that is just an excuse." Ruan Wangshu gritted her teeth and held but the bitter taste in his mouth. "What is the real reason?" "The real reason? Yes, I want to eat you, haha." Grandmother Wolf attacked again. Her movements were fast and her skin was as hard as iron. She could endure the players' attacks but the players couldn't endure her claws. She was like a crazy meat grinder. Wherever she went, players were injured. Jack roared and pressed his hands against the ground. He picked up a huge stone slab and slammed it into Grandmother Wolf. Grandmother Wolf didn't hide at all and punched the stone slab. Jack was surprised and Grandmother Wolf seized the opportunity to rush at Luo Fengcheng standing in the distance. "Smart human flesh is the most fragrant, you look the best. Luo Fengcheng reacted very quickly. He was shocked but he didn't turn to run. He knew that even if he ran with all his strength, he couldn't escape from Grandmother Wolf. He pulled out a piece of chocolate from his pocket and threw it. Once Grandmother Wolf saw the chocolate, her expression changed. Her body twisted uncontrollably and jumped out at the chocolate. Like a dog playing a fetch game, she couldn't wait to bite the chocolate. After eating the chocolate, Grandmother Wolf's eyes turned red and she roared, "Human, you dare to play with me and humiliate me. I must eat you." This was why Luo Fengcheng hadn't used the chocolate before this. From this moment on, Grandmother Wolf aimed at Luo Fengcheng and madly attacked. The players of attack could no longer protect him and they also weren't a match for Grandmother Wolf. Grandmother Wolf's claws were just about to split Luo Fengcheng in half when a red whip flew over and tied around Luo Fengcheng's waist. "I like you so much. Do you want me to die?" Luo Fengcheng was stunned as he was pulled by this red whip and managed to avoid Grandmother Wolf's move. He turned to look at the person. Shan Shan. Then on the left and right sides, 3 figures emerged. One person stood in place. Luo Fengcheng stared at the other person and frowned. "Bai Ruiao." Chen Shan Shan told him, "Teacher, he is now our teammate." Luo Fengcheng hit the nail on the head. Then why isn't he going to help kill Grandmother Wolf? Tang Mo and Major Fu went. Then he saw the foreign player attacking Grandmother Wolf. "Is that the Russian player Andrei?" The little girl nodded. Fu Wenzheng also asked in a strange manner, "Why aren't you going?" Bai Ruiao grinned. "Tang Tang and the others are enough. I will accompany you here." Fu Wenzheng, "You are just lazy." The facts proved Bai Ruiao's words. Thanks to the addition of Tang Mo, Fu Wenduo, and Andrei, the strength of the players was enhanced and Grandmother Wolf gradually lost her advantage. Still, the winner and loser couldn't be distinguished. Tang Mo pulled out a small dart. He didn't shoot it at Grandmother Wolf but aimed it at the baby-faced youth. "I will kill you if you keep standing there." Bai Ruiao caught the dart and spoke in a wronged manner, "Tang Tang, you are so fierce." He said this but he immediately attacked. The strongest players in China were here, attacking Grandmother Wolf. Grandmother Wolf might be the strongest boss in the Black Tower world but she was gradually suppressed by the players' joint efforts. A huge gash occurred in her pink skirt, revealing white underwear. Everyone's eyes felt like they were burning while Grandmother Wolf actually covered her body in a shy manner. "You are a bunch of hooligans." Then she hit the nearest Tang Mo. Tang Mo reflexively opened the small parasol to block the blow. He flew back and his hands shook from the pain. Fu Wenduo grabbed his arm and dragged him back. The skirt was damaged and Grandmother Wolf covered her body in an ashamed manner. No one could stand this scene of the fierce and ugly giant wolf staring at them with shy eyes. Fu Wenduo's expression didn't change as he covered Tang Mo's hand and raised his other hand, the black triangular weapon pointed straight at Grandmother Wolf. "Where is Mosaic?" Grandmother Wolf blinked. "How should I know? The little bastard who doesn't read books and goes to play every time. Who knows where she went after skipping class?" Luo Fengcheng noticed something. "Mosaic." Chen Shan Shan nodded. "Yes, the reason why humans haven't cleared the game despite all 5 towers being attacked is due to the little girl who sells matches, i.e. Mosaic. Teacher, the dwarves told us that the little girl is at the tallest tower. Originally, we thought they were talking about the tallest black tower. Later, I thought they were talking about Guangzhou Tower." Chen Shan Shan only explained a few key things and didn't talk about who the dwarves were and how they knew the clue about the little girl who sells matches. However, Luo Fengcheng didn't need to ask. He directly said, "Guangzhou Tower is the tallest tower in China. It is 600 meters high and the second tallest tower in the world, second only to Tokyo Sky Tree. Combined with the fact that Guangzhou has a treasure black tower, this place really is likely to be the tallest tower." He paused before continuing, "I don't know who Mosaic is but a little girl with a match was here." Chen Chinchen's eyes brightened. "Where is she?" Luo Fengcheng replied, "I don't know. 6 days ago, she appeared at Guangzhou Tower. She set fire to the tower and clashed with the Guangzhou players. She was defeated by the Guangzhou players and went back." He tried to figure out his words. "She went back to find her mother for help. Her mother was also defeated by the players and finally, Grandmother Wolf came to help the mother and daughter get revenge." Chen Shan Shan raised her head and shouted, "Brother Tang, the little girl who sells matches is really in Guangzhou." Tang Mo resisted Grandmother Wolf's blow and asked, "Where is she?" Chen Chinchen's brain worked quickly and she looked at the top of Guangzhou Tower. "Brother Tang, I remember that you said the match-selling girl especially likes to set fire. She must still be here so she will be wherever there is fire." Thus, Chen Shan Shan pointed at the sly. "She is there." Tang Mo followed the direction of Tang Mo's fingers and saw the top floor of the 600 meters high Guangzhou Tower was on fire. Tang Mo couldn't see if there was anyone inside but it was the only place in the vicinity. He gritted her teeth and turned to Fu Wenduo. "I will go up to find her." Grandmother Wolf punched Fu Wenduo in the chest and he raised both arms to block. The moment their eyes met, there was no need for words. The silent trust made Fu Wenduo smile and nod. Upon seeing it, Tang Mo rushed towards Guangzhou Tower without hesitation. Grandmother Wolf was between the players and Guangzhou Tower. She saw Tang Mo running over and sneered disdainfully before aiming at him. Fu Wenduo turned his head. "Give me the whip." Chen Shan Shan immediately threw the whip to Fu Wenduo. Fu Wenduo skillfully tied the whip around Grandmother Wolf's arm. Grandmother Wolf was surprised as she heard a low voice say, "I like you so much. Do you want me to die?" At this moment, Tang Mo was 20 meters away from Grandmother Wolf. Grandmother Wolf wanted to attack Tang Mo, but the whip around her arm violently pulled her to Fu Wenduo. Grandmother Wolf found she was unable to break free and realized. Damn, a causality prop. As Tang Mo rushed towards Guangzhou Tower, a bell-like female voice was heard. Quickly say you are a good person. Tang Mo's eyes narrowed as he saw a beautiful girl in a white dress appear next to Guangzhou Tower. She didn't intend to help. She just shouted out some words. She saw Tang Mo staring at her and smiled. I'm not helping. I'm just saying some words. What's the problem? Besides Snow White, the circus leader took off his hat and smiled at Tang Mo. The Queen of Hearts sat in a tree and scoffed disdainfully. Santa Claus sat in his sleigh and licked his teeth when he saw so many humans. He was heartbroken at the thought of not eating them. There was the Iron Shoemaker, Peter Pan, Wang Xiaotian, the small black cat Schrödinger. It was unknown when it happened, but many black tower monsters appeared next to Guangzhou Tower. They didn't meddle in the fight between Grandmother Wolf and the humans. They just watched from the sidelines. You are a good person. Grandmother Wolf shouted in a loud voice. The red whip was loosened and Grandmother Wolf rushed to Tang Mo. However, Andre screamed and blocked her way. Two silver rays flashed towards Grandmother Wolf, stopping her from moving. The butterfly knives returned to Bai Ruiao's hands and Fu Wenduo rushed over. There were also Lian Yuzheng, Jack, and countless Guangzhou players. Grandmother Wolf saw that Tang Mo had entered Guangzhou Tower. She frowned and sighed reluctantly, okay, then let me eat you. Let's see how many I can eat, ha ha ha. The elevator was disabled in the 600 meters high building. Tang Mo found the stairs and rushed up. His speed was so fast that he reached the next floor in 2 seconds. Under the Guangzhou Tower, players were crazily stopping Grandmother Wolf. Inside the Guangzhou Tower, a black figure took 1 minute to reach the 107th floor. He wasn't yet at the top when a heat wave touched his face. The fire surrounded the entire 107th floor. Tang Mo's eyes flashed as he opened his mouth and a fierce storm emerged from it. His swallow energy from far away like a tiger ability. The wind blew out 50% of the fire on this floor, revealing a path for humans to walk. Tang Mo didn't waste any time and rushed into the fire to find the little girl. He searched through every corner of this floor at the fastest speed. There weren't many places to hide, but due to the fire, it was chaotic and difficult to find something. Then a little girl in red finally appeared in his field of view and Tang Mo raised his hand, calling many steel needles. 10 needles flew in from a mosaic, scaring her. She turned her head and saw the young man rushing towards her. The girl with 2 ponytails opened her mouth. Her face was hidden under a thick mosaic, but her horrified expression couldn't be hidden. Ah, don't catch me. I don't want to go back and read books. Don't catch me. Mosaic wasn't very strong, but she was fast. She rushed into the fire. She could cross the sea of fire, but Tang Mo couldn't. However, there was no time to use his abilities. Tang Mo gritted his teeth and pulled out a table embedded in the ground to block the fire. Mosaic was so anxious she wanted to jump off the building. She smashed the glass and jumped down the stairs. At this moment, one hand firmly grasped one of her ponytails. Mosaic, Tang Mo, the little girl shouted, bastard Tang Mo, I haven't grown up yet. Do you want me to be bald? You are bullying me again. Tang Mo silently used the ponytail to pull the little girl up. It wasn't easy to find the little girl in the fire. He took Mosaic and brought her to the 100th floor, which wasn't burned by the fire. Mosaic was extremely wronged. Her braided ponytail was damaged by Tang Mo. The rope was crooked and hair scattered across her shoulder. Not to mention that her scalp was still tingling. She almost died on Guangzhou Tower. She would surely bully him back. Still, Tang Mo wasn't a newcomer just exposed to the Black Tower game. He moved his hand and pulled out a silver pistol. Despite standing at least 400 meters high in the sky, Tang Mo could clearly hear Grandmother Wolf fighting players on the ground. Not only that, he could see through the window that the sun was about to sink below the horizon. The sun set and the buildings in the entire city of Guangzhou and everywhere he could see were collapsing. In the red glow of the setting sun, it would be the most magnificent collapse. This was 1600 hours on the final evening. It was the final death. The time that the Black Tower gave to humanity was running out. The muzzle arrived at the little girl's forehead. Tang Mo quickly said, the Black Tower's 7th floor. How can it be cleared? Mosaic froze for a long time. Tang Mo repeated it again. Mosaic exclaimed, I'm not a tower guard. The tower guard is my grandmother. The implication was why ask her? Tang Mo directly spoke the clue. The little girl who sells matches. Mosaic snorted. I'm not a little girl who sells matches. I already told you. Don't think that I sell matches just because I like to play with matches. You are childish and naive. I despise you. The gun pressed against her forehead. Mosaic didn't speak for a long time and Tang Mo was about to threaten her again when she told him angrily, I have already given you the treasure. Greedy human, what else do you want me to do? I have to find Grandmother Wolf to kill you, kill you. Tang Mo was shocked. You have given me the treasure? What is it? Mosaic refused to speak. Tang Mo thought for a moment. If you don't say it, I will send you to your mother and grandmother. They must be hoping to catch you to make you read. Mosaic hurriedly told him, my magic matches, you bastard. Tang Mo instantly recalled the 3 magic matches in his memory. He wondered in an astonished manner, I am the only one with 3 matches because I was the only one to clear the Peking University reality instance. If I hadn't found you or if I had died, wouldn't it be impossible to clear this floor? Mosaic raised her hand and touched the mosaic covering her eyes. Her white fingers were like an eraser that wiped away the heavy mosaic, revealing a pair of eyes. A sly look gradually filled her eyes. The fire had burned from the upper floor to the 100th floor. Mosaic raised her head and sneered at Tang Mo, then the humans will die. Luck is a type of strength as well. Humanity's luck is very poor. Tang Mo took a few deep breaths. He took out 3 golden matches which he had almost forgotten about and asked, how do I use them? Mosaic explained. Light it. Every match will let you ask one question or let you see a fantasy. Then little girl muttered in a dissatisfied manner. It should only be 1 match. You bad guy, extorting me and making me give you 2 more. Tang Mo put his hand in his pocket. One hand was still aiming the gun at Mosaic while the other hand picked up a match and struck it against the wall. The match instantly ignited. At this moment, time seemed to stop. Tang Mo saw the mosaic around Mosaic's eyes slowly restoring, but the moment the match lit up, everything stopped. The flames burning Guangzhou Tower stopped and the air was stagnant. Tang Mo held the match in his hand and slowly raised his head. The fire burned as he stared at the black tower opposite Guangzhou Tower. A question or a fantasy? Tang Mo spoke in a calm voice. What exactly is the black tower? Boom. Everything in front of him broke as Tang Mo was pulled into an endless darkness. Soon, a bright star appeared in his field of view. The magnificent star river was infinitely long and time stopped indefinitely as his consciousness was drawn towards different planets. On every planet, there were countless black towers. Some had tens of thousands while some only had a few hundred. Once the 7th floor tower attack was over, the towers disappeared and the life forms on the planet shouted with joy and tears. On planets where the 7th floor wasn't broken, the black tower was annihilated and all life on the planet was destroyed. A year and a half ago, tens of thousands of black towers came to Earth. Why were the black tower bosses fairy tale characters? It was because they were the beginning of human enlightenment, stories told before going to sleep. This was the way that humans were most likely to recognize and accept. During the quiet 6 months, the black towers were like hungry sponges, madly absorbing all information on human society. In the end, they created a whole new world with a supreme civilization, the Black Tower world where there were countless Black Tower monsters. What exactly was the Black Tower? Tang Mo opened his mouth and asked this sentence again. A test of all civilizations that have touched the untouchable field. The clear child's voice rang in Tang Mo's mind. The next second, Tang Mo returned to Guangzhou Tower. Mosaic didn't seem to realize that Tang Mo had just asked a question and was still calling him a bastard. Then she discovered that Tang Mo had lit a match and asked curiously, your question. Tang Mo didn't waste any time and spoke his next question. What aliens created the Black Tower? This was the second question. The next moment, countless images flashed in Tang Mo's eyes. China, a secret institute of science and technology. Many white-haired old men used wrinkled hands to hold a silver chip the size of a nail, staring at it with trembling and loving looks. The United States, a national research institute. Several foreign scientists stood in front of a huge machine and excitedly shouted, "Start!" Under their gazes, a young researcher pressed a lever and the giant machine started. Britain, Japan, Germany. Aerospace, biology, new energy. In the fields that many ordinary people couldn't reach, human beings touched the boundaries that belonged to civilization. It is the extremely excellent individual humans that created the Black Tower. Tang Mo was shocked by the power of the top human's intelligence and his brain roared. These days, he gained physical strength and wisdom beyond the limits of humanity. However, he saw the gathered wisdom of thousands of humans and couldn't participate, let alone understand. He could only silently feel admiration for these people. They were the ones who touched the field and created the Black Tower. The Black Tower came for them. This face was full of mocking, but they couldn't be blamed. It was just the universe making the most ridiculous joke towards all civilizations. The second question was over and Mosaic was asking, what question did you ask or what illusion did you see? The third question, where is there a test of the untouchable field? Tang Mo no longer saw anything. The Black Tower's voice directly answered him. The existence of cosmic resources isn't endless. Most civilizations consume a great deal of resources and then fail to raise the level of their civilization, wasting the resources of the universe. Through this test, become recognized by the universe and allow civilization to evolve. After the 3 questions were over, all 3 matches in Tang Mo's hands were burnt. Time flowed again and the curious Mosaic begged Tang Mo what questions he had asked. She only thought that Tang Mo would ask some interesting questions. Once she saw the expression on Tang Mo's face, her lips opened but she didn't say anything. This man had probably asked some bad questions. All 3 matches were exhausted. Outside the window, the collapse of Guangzhou seemed to have been paused. Around the planet, humans saw the city around them stop collapsing. They were first stunned and then released happy cries. At this time, even the senior players who cleared the 5th floor were like ordinary players as they were filled with joy. The Black Tower played the ode to joy at this time. There were no lyrics, only the cheerful melody. After the music played, the Black Tower's voice was heard, ding dong. China District 3 player Tang Mo has won the respect of Grandmother Wolf's family and successfully passed the 7th floor of the Black Tower. All 7 floors, the voice stopped and at this moment, every corner of the planet froze. Tang Mo stood in the charred Guangzhou Tower and took a white turkey egg out of his pocket. His fingers had drawn a L on the white eggshell and the L character flashed blue. Then little girl with 2 ponytails muttered in a dissatisfied manner. It should only be one match. You bad guy, extorting me and making me give you 2 more. Tang Mo saw the city behind him collapsing and checked the time. His lips slightly curved as he once again lit the match. The first question, will humans encounter the same test as the Black Tower in the future? The Black Tower didn't speak for a long time. Tang Mo asked again, will there be more tests? Human, you are greedy. Tang Mo smiled. Isn't this within the permissible range of your prop? The Black Tower, no, this is a test to see if you are qualified for the cosmic resources. It doesn't come from an advanced civilization that passed the test but from the universe. That's why it was absolutely fair. Mosaic hurriedly asked, hey, what did you ask? The second question, is there a chance to resurrect the humans who died in this test? Death means the recycling of resources. All resources are eternal. Each energy is rearranged and returned to the source itself. Tang Mo was silent. Mosaic was still saying, tell me, what the hell are you asking, the last question. In front of the flaming sky, the handsome youth raised his head and revealed a bright and confident smile. He laughed and asked, what rating did the Black Tower give us? There was a long silence before the cold child's voice replied, the assessment for resources of the universe has appeared a total of 6030096724102 times. The number of civilizations that completed the test is 364,213,6416. The human completion time is 8 natural human monsters. 1 person cleared the 7th floor, 9 people cleared the 6th floor, 97 people cleared the 5th floor, 26,032 people cleared the 4th floor, 60,000 people cleared the 3rd floor, 870,000 people cleared the 2nd floor and 1.42 million people cleared the 1st floor. Percentage of completed people, poor completion speed, excellent 276 EVES candidates have survived. 7 are on the 7th floor and 6 are on the 6th floor. Comprehensive evaluation, after a long pause, the Black Tower calmly gave the answer. Medium to high. Tang Mo suddenly didn't know what to say. His lips opened and closed again. He smiled while on the other end of the turkey egg. Fu Wenduo heard this sentence and also shook his head with a low laugh. Ode to Joy played once again and the surviving humans gave bitter cheers. The Black Tower seemed to have a hint of resentment in its voice as it reported again. Once it repeated the words, it paused before adding a name. Ding dong. China District 3 players Tang Mo and Fu Wenduo have won the respect of Grandmother Wolf's family and successfully passed the 7th floor of the Black Tower. All 7 floors of the tower have ended. Congratulations to humanity. Now ending the Black Tower attack mode. Ding dong. At 18:03 on June 25, 2018, Earth's players are offline, humans are online. The Black Tower broadcasted 3 times in a row and humans all over the world froze in place, not understanding what it meant. Then a young girl pointed to the Black Tower closest to her and shouted, the Black Tower has started to disappear. Everyone panicked before discovering that the disappearance of the Black Towers didn't cause the collapse of human civilization. In every corner of the planet, humans stood silently and stared up at the Black Tower closest to them. In the past year, players had tried their best to survive. They watched as more than 7 billion compatriots died in the cruel Black Tower games. Under the Guangzhou Tower, as the Black Towers disappeared, the bodies of the Black Tower monsters standing by the tower also disappeared. Grandmother Wolf lowered her head and saw that her hand was disappearing. Then she looked up at Guangzhou Tower. The ferocious werewolf showed a murderous smile and just before she was about to completely disappear, she slammed into the middle of Guangzhou Tower and punched it. Fu Wenduo's eyes widened and he wanted to stop it but Grandmother Wolf's punch had already broken the support of Guangzhou Tower. The 600 meters high tower was cracked in the middle and fell to the ground. The Guangzhou players watched to escape while Fu Wenduo unexpectedly ran in the direction of the collapsing building. There was a loud bang. Along with the collapse of Guangzhou Tower, the Black Tower monsters also disappeared from Earth. The Queen of Hearts yawned. I can finally go back and be lazy. Snow White hugged her arm. I will go back and let those 7 bastards drink my washing water. Grandmother Wolf swore, I have to make that little bastard read a book. She is worthless if she doesn't read. Santa Claus drove his sleigh. Ho 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 ho, Merry Christmas. The small Ed Schrödinger hummed and buried his head on top of the mechanical housekeeper. The circus leader placed one hand behind him and one hand in front as he bowed and smiled. The last performance of Earth has ended smoothly. Bang. The collapse of Guangzhou Tower caused an intense dust cloud that filled the entire area, so that everyone couldn't open their eyes. Fu Wenduo directly entered the ruins and started to look for the young man. He acted calmly and silently. Bai Ruiao walked over and grinned. Wow, even splitting apart Guangzhou Tower before leaving. How much does Grandmother Wolf hate Tang Tang? Fu Wenzheng was dissatisfied. How do you know she isn't trying to kill her granddaughter Mosaic? Bai Ruiao said, Xiaosheng, why don't we make a bet? However, his body also crouched down as he searched for Tang Mo in the ruins. Many players came over to help find the player who was trapped inside these terrible ruins. The worst possibility was that Tang Mo fell from Guangzhou Tower into Pearl River. After all, the tower was 600 meters high and Pearl River was 100 meters away. One Guangzhou player whispered, he shouldn't be dead. Fu Wenduo raised an eyebrow and glanced at the man. He hadn't opened his mouth when a warm hand suddenly grabbed his wrist. Fu Wenduo lowered his head and stared at the hand that protruded from the ruins. His lips curved slightly as Tang Mo pulled the hand and dragged the person out. Cough cough cough. Grandmother Wolf must have hated me and wanted to kill me before she left. Bai Ruiao saw Tang Mo and rushed over. Tang Tang, How do you know those Black Tower monsters are gone and not dead? I think they probably disappeared like the Black Tower. Hehe, or how about we make a bet? Tang Mo glanced at him. Even if we make a bet, how will you verify the results? Bai Ruiao was very confident. Perhaps we can find a person with a divination ability to help us determine if those Black Tower monsters are dead or alive. The more he spoke, the more reasonable it was. A person with this ability will surely be able to survive and will be among the 3 million survivors. Tang, let's make a bet. You dare? Well, we will make the best. If you lose, don't appear in front of me anymore. Tang Mo directly interrupted him. Fu Wenduo immediately said, I will also join. Tang Mo looked at him strangely. I am the one betting with him. Why are you joining in and standing on my side? Fu Wenduo answered, I trust you. Tang Mo's lips moved. He didn't know what to say to this man and could only laugh. Bai Ruiao felt that something was wrong. Wait Tang, why are you so certain? No, it must be a conspiracy. It definitely isn't right. Tang Mo grinned and raised his hand to pull out his abilities book. He opened the abilities book and one page naturally fell out. He grabbed the page that fell and handed it to Bai Ruiao. Ability, Existence is reasonable owner, Mu Huixiu, official player, type, special type function, the existence is reasonable means that everything can exist. The user can find the flaws of any target and be sure of everything that can't exist. The specific effect depends on the level. Level, 8 restrictions, once the user confirms the inevitable existence of truth, this power is contrary to the fallacy compass. The first function is left behind and the user loses the ability to confirm that all things must exist. It is difficult to use and the degree of correlation with the level is very great. Note, even if I am ignored by everyone, my existence is reasonable. Tang Mo version usage instructions, a one-time usage ability. It can only be used once in a lifetime, ignoring any restrictions. For Tang Mo, this ability isn't comparable to the moonlight on Guangzhou Tower. It is the same for many people. Bai Ruiao read this piece of paper and slowly opened his mouth, laughing. Tang Mo raised his eyebrows. I can only use this ability once. I have never seen an ability with such a large restriction. Bai Ruiao kept laughing. Hehe, then how did you use it Tang? Tang Mo watched him before turning to look at the city, which had been half destroyed. A long time passed before he said quietly, I said that the existence of humans is reasonable. Humans were reasonable and wouldn't die out in any way. Everything that existed for humans, such as the Black Tower monsters, also existed. Bai Ruiao spread open his hands, a disgusting smile still on his face. Andre wanted to take the paper to have a look but Bai Ruiao folded it up and placed it in his pocket. Andre said, what put away? Bai Ruiao giggled. Hehe, guess. Andre certainly couldn't guess and slammed his fist directly at Bai Ruiao. Bai Ruiao avoided it and the two men started fighting. Without paying attention to them, Tang Mo grabbed Fu Wenduo's hand and the two people stared at each other. This land had almost become a ruin and human civilization was completely destroyed. However, a more ambitious civilization was about to be born. The sun fell below the horizon, leaving only the last rays of light to shine into Tang Mo's eyes, like the red color of hope. Tang Mo suddenly said, I definitely won't eat coriander. Fu Wenduo, he raised his eyebrows. Should I eat your coriander in the future? Tang Mo wondered, can't you just say that you won't eat it in the future? Fu Wenduo seriously considered it. Maybe you should try it. The actual taste isn't bad. The two people stared at each other. The next moment, Tang Mo's lips curved. One hand held Fu Wenduo's hand tightly while the other hand reached out. It's over. Then let me reintroduce myself. Hello, I'm Mo Tang. I used to be a bit worse than Victor at bridge but after gaining Shinshan's ability, I feel that I can play 10 victors. Fu Wenduo wanted to take Tang Mo's hand but he found that his right hand was already holding Tang Mo's hand. He had to twist his body to shake Tang Mo's hand with a hand on the same side and his eyes filled with joy. 10 victors? Victor doesn't think so. Do you want to try it? Okay. How long will you try it? I will try it for the rest of my life. Under the setting sun, tens of thousands of black towers shone and faded away. Buildings were bound to rise up and the civilization that belonged to humanity had just begun. There was a glow around every human body, like the dawn that got rid of the night. Peek at the sky and see the future. Ding dong. June 25, 2018, humans have gone online. The end of the main story. There are still a few more extras to come.